I'll begin with thanking you guys for being here. We have a good group, and then also our fans. Pretty cool to see a sellout. You look up and there's no empty seats, and I think our guys they don't take that for granted. And regardless of how we're playing, we take the responsibility of giving all that we have and playing with maximum energy and intensity. And part of that is to honor our fans and all those that are watching us. And so it was great to see our guys, especially in the second half, play with a lot of joy, and they played the game the way it's supposed to be played for the most part.
Yeah, Dusty, if you could just speak to the defensive switch early on. I mean, you guys started full court pressing. I think you forced like 8 turnovers in 6:15. It felt like that really sparked the offense.
It got us going. I thought the second group, the first set of subs, and we have 8 or 9 starters, whatever the case, guys that play starter minutes. But I thought that group of Roddy and those guys really ignited the press and got us going. And then once we got the game loosened up, because they were doing a nice job early, they were getting it over half, they were getting organized, burning 5 or 8 seconds before they even initiated their offense, and then we weren't doing a good job of rebounding the long caroms. And so it was kind of a perfect storm, and by us getting them sped up a little bit, they weren't able to control the tempo like they were the first 5 minutes of the game.
And then just one more about Jacob Cohn. What does he bring to this staff?
He brings a number of things. He brings, first of all, with our staff, they're all extremely different as far as personality traits and people, but they all share some of the same things as far as like really wanting to add to the group, bring their secret sauce to the group. And Jacob is very, very talented in his field, much like all of our staff is. They're very, very talented in certain areas, and then they're all growing, including myself, at the areas we're not great at. So I think our staff as a whole, we all complement each other's strengths and weaknesses well, and we work extremely well together. There's not much silo. There aren't any silos in our office space. Like, we all value each other's opinions, and we work well together, and I think we have a good understanding of what our strengths and weaknesses are, and so we just try to live in the strengths and develop our weaknesses, and a lot of that is having guys that do things well, not in your strengths. So very appreciative of those guys.
Charles? Yeah, shot almost 50% from 3. I think 4 guys had multiple 3-pointers. Why do you think that area of the offense was working tonight?
Well, we have good shooters. I was bothered in the off season when it seemed like every article talked about how we couldn't shoot, and we felt like we'd signed Trey and Winters and these guys that were good shooters, and Roddy Gale, he went in a slump last year. You take the slump away, he was a good percentage shooter and shot it well in practice, and Yaxel just hadn't shot volume. And so and I think also the culture of work in our program, our guys are in the gym working on their shooting, and usually over time, when you put in consistent, intentional work, then you're rewarded. And LJ shooting a cover off of it. Trey came in and banged in a couple, which it was allowed us to separate a little bit. So I think we have really good shooters, but most importantly, we're taking good shots and we're working together to generate good quality shots.
You talked about Trey, but him, Elliott, and LJ, especially in the first half, were doing a lot for you guys on offense. Can you just talk about what you saw from them early on?
Yeah, I thought they got out in transition. They made shots. Once again, we saw something defensively that we haven't seen yet this year tonight, and we didn't adjust that well early on, and our plan wasn't great. I don't think the plan that I had for them was that great, but the guys did a really nice job adjusting on the fly and figuring out solutions to what they were doing. Hey, LaSalle plays hard. Those guys are scrappy. They're athletic, and they were excited to play, and so they did a really nice job, especially the first 10 minutes of the game. But I think our depth and our numbers and size was able to overwhelm them later on. But those 3 guys, they're all 3 dynamic playmakers that can make shots, and so that's going to present challenges for a lot of teams.
Dusty, you have so many fundamentally sound players on your team, but looking at Trey, how unusual is it for a freshman to come in with the kind of instincts and knowledge? And he seems like he's in the right place all the time.
Yeah, I think, first of all, he was coached well and growing up in his travel programs and also his high school team, and then he played USA basketball. And usually the USA basketball component is, in our staff's opinion, a good indicator of being able to produce early because they've played on teams with really good players when it wasn't about them. And there's a few high schools that are like that where and Winters played at one where there's a number of Division I players on his team, so he's not getting all the shots, all the attention, all the everything. He has to figure out a way to bring what he does to a especially talented group. And so it's the same thing with Trey. So I think all of those cumulative experiences, but also he's just a really bright person and well-rounded individual, so that certainly helps. But anyone that acts and behaves like our guys do, I'm going to give a lot of credit to their support system and their circle, which parents and coaches and whatnot.
You guys have done something, right?
I mean, we've tried to contribute the best we can. Yeah, we've in our staff, they live it. They walk the walk every day. I mean, we're all fighting for a team identity, and we have no personal agenda in our locker room, and that's why we've been able to play the type of basketball we have over the last month.
And one last thing on Trey, what sets him apart as a shooter, and how big of a factor in that is the strength in his legs?
That's it. He's got a great base. He works on his game. It comes out of his hand clean, and he can shoot it off the dribble and he can shoot it off the catch. So those things all kind of rolled into one will allow him to be a very efficient basketball player for us.
Take just a couple more.
Yeah, and in a 50-point blowout like this, what are you kind of looking to take into practice this week and work on even after a day like this? And what were the takeaways in that sense?
Well, we have a couple days off, and then obviously the rebounding. We knew LaSalle was going to rebound like they did. That's their identity. We spent most of this past 8 days on ourselves, and so we'll come back after break, and we'll spend the first couple on ourselves. And then McNeese State is one of the better they should be an NCAA tournament team. They've been top 50 KenPom in the metrics because they were able to go win some really good neutral site games against Atlantic 10 schools and whatnot. So those teams will present a number of challenges, and maybe they aren't the challenges that we'll see in the Big Ten play because of size and strength and whatnot. But we'll see a team like that. If we continue to perform like we have, we'll see a team very similar to McNeese and LaSalle in the first round of the NCAA tournament. So we've got to be able to refer back to what we're learning, but also just continuing to reinforce our pillars, our daily habits and whatnot, and just work on getting better, work on us, because we've played well, but this team still has another gear that we can shift into and take it to another level. There's no doubt.
We'll go Clayton and then close with Brandon.
In warm-ups, Yax was wearing a Roddy jersey and Merez was wearing a shirt with some of his teammates on it, and then just the way the guys on the bench reacted when Howard's in there. And is this team coming together chemistry-wise the way you would have envisioned?
To be honest, they came together chemistry-wise much quicker than most teams do, especially in this era where people are coming from different directions. And I think a lot of it is because when you come in with the accolades and the reputations that they have, and then they play unselfishly, it's just a lot easier for those guys to work together. There's magic in sharing and moving the ball and having guys that enjoy passing it. And I've never been a part of a team as a young player, as a coach, that had guys that enjoyed passing the ball that didn't have good team chemistry. And so that, in addition to just the simple mutual respect for each other's games, we have some players that deserve a lot more minutes. And anytime you even try to have a conversation with them about it, they say, hey, I understand, we're really talented. And so there's a lot of sacrifice going on. And as long as we stay with that, then and we continue to share the ball and defend at a high level, we'll like where we are when the time's right.
Do you want a Roddy jersey yourself, too?
Those are expensive. I'm pretty tight. Actually, I'd love one. Yeah, I should probably support those guys. I got to make sure, see what type of cut they get out of the price. But
Coach, you guys hit the century mark for, that's 100 or more points for the sixth time in 11 games. What do you guys, need to do or to improve to get the nation to rank you guys number one?
We're not worried about that. I think Arizona's number one. I don't pay that close attention, and I watched Arizona play last night. They're very deserving. I think we're deserving. I think they're Iowa State. I think they're deserving. So I don't get into all that. I certainly respect anyone that votes someone else. We can't control that. We can control how we play. And anything that gives us a little bit more of an edge, we'll take it. But we're not concerned with that at all, not in the least bit. If we're number one in April, then we'll be we'll be much more content than we are now.